English the World Language. History of the English Language by Irena. A short history of the origins of the English language. English is a member of the Indo-European family of languages. The Indo-European family of languages includes several branches. Latin and the modern Romance languages, for example French. The Germanic languages, English, German, Swedish. The Indo-Iranian languages, Hindi, Urdu, Sanskrit. The Slovak languages, Russian, Polish, Czech, Slovakian. The Baltic languages, Latvian and Lithuanian. The Celtic languages, Welsh, Irish, Gaelic. Hellenic, Greek. In this picture, you can see branches of the Indo-European languages mentioned previously. English is a West Germanic language that originated from the Old Germanic languages, Anglo-Frisian dialects, brought to Britain by Germanic invaders. In the chart below you can see the division of Germanic languages. They are divided into 3 groups: North, West and East. The history of the English language started with the arrival of 3 Germanic tribes who invaded Britain during the 5th century AD. These tribes, the Angles, the Saxons and the Jutes, who traded and fought with the Latin-speaking Roman Empire, crossed the North Sea from what today is Denmark, northwest Germany and the northern Netherlands. The history of the first settlements in the British Isles is a matter of long-lasting disputes. The origin of the peoples living there has been a controversial issue as well. However, the Celts can be considered to be the original inhabitants. They spoke languages which can still be heard in Welsh, Scottish and Irish Gaelic languages. The history of the English language can be divided into 3 periods: Old English, from 450 to 1100 AD, Middle English from 1100 to 1500, and Modern English. Modern English is divided into 2 periods: Early Modern English from 1500 to 1800 and Late Modern English from 1800 to present. Old English language from 450 to 1100 AD. The dialects spoken by the Anglo-Saxons formed what is now called Old English. Old English was influenced by 2 further waves of invasions, the Scandinavians and the Normans. The Scandinavians conquered and colonized parts of Britain in the 8th and in the 9th century. They introduced words like sky, skin, they, their, them, kilt, etc. The Normans. A Norman duke, William the Conqueror, in 1066 won battle at Hastings and introduced French spoken by the upper class. Words like army, government, people, crown, nation, and parliament. Ordinary folks remained loyal to Old English. Old English did not sound or look like English today, but about half of the most commonly used words in modern English have Old English roots. For example, to be, strong, and water. Words from Anglo-Saxon origin: pig, French origin: pork, sheep, mutton, cow, beef. Some Germanic troops served in Britannia under the Romans. The Romans gave the English language words which they had borrowed from other languages. For example, chest, butter, devil, wine, and many others. Old English was spoken until around 1100 AD. The most famous surviving work from the Old English period is the fragment of the epic poem Beowulf, composed by an unknown poet. Middle English, 1100 to 1500. Middle English was a period of linguistic class division. The lower classes spoke English and the upper classes spoke French. For about 300 years after the Norman conquest, 1066 battle at Hastings, the Norman kings and their high nobility spoke Anglo-Norman, remaining the prestige language of law, royal court, and the government. However, in the 14th century, English became dominant, with many French added. The Provisions of Oxford, the first government document released in 1258 in the English language, and Edward III became the first king to address the Parliament in English in 1362. The introduction of Christianity enriched English with words from Latin, for example, library, and Greek, bibliography. English literature started to reappear around 1200. The most famous writer from the Middle English period was Geoffrey Chaucer, and his works, the most known is the Canterbury Tales. Modern English. Modern English is divided into two periods, Early Modern English and Late Modern English. Early Modern English dates back from 1500 to 1800. What was typical for early Modern English? It was the introduction of great vowel shift, sudden and distinct change in pronunciation of vowels, vowels being pronounced shorter and shorter. The invention of printing brought standardization to English. Book became cheaper and more people learned to read. Spelling and grammar became fixed, and the dialect of London became the standard. In 1604, the first English dictionary, the Table Alphabetical, was published. By the time of William Shakespeare, the language had become clearly recognizable as modern English. The colonial influence brought words from all over the world where English was successfully exported. A few examples: alcohol, algebra, coffee, zero from Arabic, divan, khaki from Persian, chocolate, tomato from Native American, pagoda from Chinese, jungle, yoga from East Indian. Important dates. In 1702, the first daily English language newspaper, the Daily Courant, is published in London. In 1755, Samuel Johnson published the first significant English dictionary, the Dictionary of the English Language. Late Modern English dates back from 1800 to present. The main difference between early modern English and late modern English is vocabulary. Late modern English has many more words arising from two factors. Firstly, the Industrial Revolution and the technology created a need for new words. Secondly, the British Empire at its height covered 1/4 of the Earth's surface, and the English language adopted foreign words from many countries. A few examples: denim from French, graffiti from Italian, yogurt from Turkish, tycoon from Japanese, cargo from Spanish, hamburger and frankfurter from German, Sputnik from Russian, goulash from Hungarian, robot and pistol from Czech. Some important dates from the period. In 1828, Webster publishes his American English Dictionary. In 1922, the British Broadcasting Corporation, the BBC, is founded. In 1928, the Oxford English Dictionary is published. English nowadays. There is a strong English influence in most languages throughout the world nowadays. English is a world language and an official language of technology, politics, sports, culture, communication, and so on. English words are used in Czech and other languages as well. A few examples: hardware, laser, mobile, and the internet. I hope that you have gained some knowledge from this presentation and enjoyed watching and listening to it. Thanks for watching.